athlete.
Just an athlete. Both of them great athletes. And now all Big 12. On top of that, we got T-Rex on the phone lines here. Before we get to that, we're going to spend a couple minutes right now on something that I saw yesterday that I want to get to right here at the top of the show for the folks that probably haven't seen this yet. I want to preface by saying this is the Baton Rouge Regional. So women's tennis team, Baylor women's tennis team, number 3 seed at the Baton Rouge Regional. There were 18 some odd teams there. And out of that, I think there are 4 regionals. And the top 6 teams from each of those make the NCAA postseason. So 24 teams are going to make the NCAA championship match, golf match. Before that, though, you got to place top 6 at your regional. Baton Rouge Regional, facing rain, had to make a difficult decision, and here's what happened.
This is one of the most gut-wrenching decisions and announcements that I've ever been a part of. Even though the course is playable, it's not playable at a championship. Therefore, the top 6 teams proceeded in advance on the top 3 positions. Again, it's a heart-wrenching decision that we have to make. And the course is playable.
It's playable. It's playable. This is what we play! Yes. Are you serious? You should be ashamed of yourself! That is so terrible! Thank you for ending our careers! Thank you, seniors! I'm just crying.
Oh my gosh. So that's golf.
Women's golf.
Okay, not tennis. It's golf.
Golf.
Okay.
Did I say tennis?
I thought, no, I wasn't sure. So it's golf.
So,
and they...
If you couldn't hear, the tournament director walks out on the podium outside of the clubhouse in Baton Rouge and says, "Ladies, the course is playable." Those are the first words out of his mouth. But it's not playable at a championship level. Therefore, we are making the decision to cancel the rest of the tournament. The top 6 seeds, you will move on. Everyone else, go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awful. I mean, if you're a player, you are irate.
You're a senior.
That was so, I mean, your heart just drops because you see all those seniors realize it all sets in at one moment. Like, okay, this is it. This is our last time.
Everything.
We're done.
Packed it all up, went to Baton Rouge to play in the NCAA postseason, getting that opportunity. You're the 7 seed. You're like, oh man, top 6, we can do that. Yeah. All we need is just to play on par with our game. One of the other big kings, doesn't just play their game. I mean, it's so volatile.
I mean, what an empty feeling. What an empty feeling to have your career end like that. Usually you want to go out swinging. What do I mean usually? All the time you want to go out swinging. You want to be able to say, okay, I left it all out there, win or lose, whatever happens, happens. And then just to have it end by a guy in a suit telling you, hey, you can't play anymore.
Very Hunger Games-esque, how like the first 3 guys just walk out and they're there all standing. Like it's the middle guy speaking and the guy to his left, the guy to his right. And then as soon as he's done, before even taking any questions or comments, just turns around and all 3 in step walk right back through the double doors so they don't have to listen to the players.
Credit to them for not charging him.
Oh,
I feel like that could have gotten physical. If that's another sport, that might have gotten physical.
To me, it's at what point you come out and you're like, hey, field conditions aren't great. We could play. Yeah. We could do it. We could get out there, strap it up, and get it done right here, right now. But it's not good enough.
That's on it. Why do you say it's playable?
Why?
That's such a dumb thing. Why do you say it's playable, but you're not going to be able to play because I said so?
And then he repeats it at the end. He's like, well, it is playable. No, it's playable. Yeah. It is playable. Let us play the sport that we've made the postseason for. I mean, they are on the cusp of making a national championship, and it got dropped because the guy walks out there and says, we could play, but we're not going to.
How viral is that right now?
Not very.
That needs to go more viral because that is absolutely atrocious.
Oh,
that is so bad.
I'm sick to my stomach thinking about it.
Isn't it a saying in golf, play it as it lies? Like, I know it's about the ball, but come on.
Yeah, play it as it lies. I'm thinking if I'm a senior, if I'm an athlete, period, and I made it that far, Baylor's a 3 seed, so they're going to be a benefactor of this. Baylor's going to end up moving on into the NCAA postseason further, the final 24 of the championship. But everybody else, the other 18 teams, your season is done, like you said, because a guy in a suit walked out there and said, we can play. We could do it right now. We could get everybody out there. This court we could play, or this course we could play on, but we're not going to.
And it's not fair because they worked so freaking hard all year long to be in that position, to have a chance to maybe play for a conference title. Like that was probably what they broke it down on during the summer when it was their workouts, or like all that you were thinking about the entire time during your training is, okay, this is for the Big 12. This is so we can have a chance to bring this back home to our school. And to not even have a shot at it, that's embarrassing for whoever that is. That is an embarrassing, and that's an abomination for college sports. That's a horrific message we're sending to our athletes.
Do you think that if that would have happened for March Madness, do you think if it would have happened for a college football game,
no shot,
that they walk out there and there's mud on the field?
No shot. There have been games that shouldn't be played, and they're just like, well, it's going to make some money. Let's go ahead and play.
1.5 feet of snow.
It's unbelievable.
You walk at a baseball game. It rains for 3 straight days on a weekend. You got a regional going on, a super regional going on. What do? They push it back a couple days.
The SEC tournament a couple of years ago, there was a tornado, tore a hole in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, in Georgia, yeah.
And they went and moved to Georgia Tech. Like, they found a way to get the game done.
And it's the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
Like, the postseason implication, which that year, oddly enough, Georgia won it all and ended up being huge for their postseason.
Great memory by you. That was awesome. Wow.
2008.
Yeah.
But in this case, you've got players that this is the NCAA March. This is the March Madness women's golf. And they want to compete for a national championship, and they've been stripped of the opportunity. And rather than what they do in most sports, giving them the opportunity to play it out in a couple of days, they're like, look, cupboards run dry. I can tell you what, NCAA is making enough money. That governing body is making enough money to put it together to where these players can compete for the NCAA tournament, NCAA championship that they've earned, and now they pulled it away from them.
What's the point of canceling it? Like, I get postponing. Like I said, hey, postpone it. Make sure there's even footing for every single team here. Like, make it a very level playing field. But it's just a lazy thing. Like, it's a convenience thing, it feels like to me. I don't know all of the factors, but it feels like a convenience, a very selfish thing to me for that governing body to say, no, we're just going to let these teams that are top 6. Like, that's just a lazy decision, is it not?
I can tell you, if they walked into a room with all 18 head coaches and their student athletes, bring in one captain and said, listen, here are our options. We can cancel this thing outright and the top 6 move on. I would like to guarantee you the top 6 coaches said, we want to play at all costs.
Yeah.
We want to play at all costs. As competitors, they don't want to move on as a hey, there's some rain out there. We could play it, but I don't. Those 6 competitors, they want to compete. On top of that, if they said, hey, we can move it on to a golf course 2 or 3, an hour down the road, like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm calling my AD. I don't care if I'm Tarleton State and saying, listen, we got to scrounge some stuff up here. We're competing for an NCAA championship. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, what message are you sending? When the going gets hard, we just pack it up.
Literally.
Like, if you're the governing body, like, we just mail it in.
Literally.
Like, it didn't, also, like you said, I think that's a great point. All 6 of those teams, none of them want an asterisk next to this thing because they're going to feel like, okay, that number 7, the number 8 team, could we have beat them? I don't know. You know, like that's going to be the thought process. I would guarantee you, you're going to always look back and say, yeah, but we didn't necessarily do it the conventional way.
Right.
I'm
sure it still feels great for Baylor to move on and make it as far as they've made it so far. But that right there bugged me to death last night. The fact that that's a group of officials with the NCAA stripping that away from collegiate athletes. And the worst part, I mean, if it had poured and poured and poured and there was just no way and there's just, this is such a tough thing to do and maybe I'd get it. But the fact they walked out there and said, hey, this is playable, but we're not doing it.
Yeah, and there's just zero concession given. They leave their message and then just leave. And then those girls are just left crying, holding each other, realizing their athletic careers, for the majority of them, just ended.
Yeah, they're done.
From what you've done as I'm guessing, a very young girl to now is effectively finished.
No closure.
All because of a guy in a suit.
Zero closure.
So bad.
And the guy walks out there and this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Like, all right. Yeah, for you, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure this really sucks for you, not the rest of these athletes that are actually getting the brunt of this.
What would be hard is to find a solution, it seems like. Like, that would make it actually hard.
My thing is, what I'd love to know, and we should have him on the show. We should have him on the show.
I love it.
What I'd love to know is, did they bring in the captains and the coaches and say, hey, what can we do? I mean, I want to know the conversations that took place because, again, if you got 18 coaches in that room and you say this course is playable, I'd be hard-pressed 15 of them not say, okay, then play it.
100%. And like, I think Jack made a good point, too. You play it as it lies. Like, is the course not a part of the game to some degree? I don't think in football, like you said, they don't wait for everyone to have an even playing field. Like, Notre Dame, there was a rumor they didn't cut the grass the week before SC because that was their advantage. Now, again, this is probably a neutral site for these teams, so there's not like an advantage, but It's the same course for everybody.
Everybody's playing the same course.
Everybody's playing the same course.
So for those that are just joining, women's golf travesty. The last couple or yesterday travesty where Baylor did advance to the NCAA championship final round of 24. But on top of that, you also have a situation in which a lot of teams got snubbed and they shouldn't have. So we're gonna hit the phone lines right here.